You've been asking, and we've been listening. That's right, it's back! Toyota is back in Forza. It is a brand new LEGO Speed Champions car, the LEGO Bugatti Chiron.
Only the best prices for you, that's a Tommy guarantee. For the next 15 minutes, 200 Forza Fun points. Go, back to you, Mike.
Battle Royale is coming to Forza Horizon 4, completely for free. Over. That other car still has every chance to ruin it for themselves.
Yeah, they could be on their roof. You don't know.
They could hit a tree.
There you go.
For our community spotlight today, we have Roby, who has made an impression on a lot of people with her virtual photography in Forza Horizon 4. I checked out chat during part of that section, and they are all going crazy. Roby, welcome.
I asked people that were watching me, what car should I take? And this one was Broken Vegetable that asked for me to take this picture.
Wouldn't it be cool to tell a story about sleeper cars? This is the part where we get to have some fun with the car now that it's been upgraded.
We're always blown away by how creative the community is.
I want to try and do something again, but do something bigger and on a grander scale, make it more logistically difficult for myself.
The much teased, much alluded to express delivery Horizon story is a real No, it's okay. It's okay.
Nah, it's just a bin.
I wanted to do something a little bit different. That's where I started coming up with the idea of working backwards off of the Eliminator logo, taking away all the main shapes, and then trying something that was a little bit different.
Promo is back. It's a fan favorite. It's a feature that all of us love in the office, and there's some really cool rewards we've got for people who engage in this feature.
Well, the community spotlight this month is going to be on Stevio 2175.
I love the community feel that I have on my channel because I feel like it's really unique where we play together a lot versus just I make videos, people watch, and that's it. There's a lot of engagement between us, so it makes it pretty special.
Photo challenges are a new feature we're adding to Series 24.
Is that a Supra?
What does actually tuning a virtual vehicle mean?
If you are in Horizon, you want to go off-road, there's going to be a separate way to tune an off-road car than there is going to be for Forza Motorsport 7.
Today, the video producer of the Carbis from Los Angeles texted me on Instagram and asked me to create a concept livery for their Audi R8.
That's so cool seeing the process of you sort of designing it to the actual real-life car driving down a real-life road.
Everyone, I really hoped you liked that look back at the past year of Forza Horizon 4. Welcome, hello again, hello. I'm Charlie, and it is time for a very special Forza Monthly. So without any further ado, let's have a look at the schedule for the show. Up first, we have a familiar face even from Playground Games joins us today to highlight the Series 27 update. After that, the opening video you just saw featured Forza Horizon 4 highlights from the past 12 months. And we're going to spend just a little bit more time to celebrate the second year of Forza Horizon 4, including some of the great achievements by the community. After that, we'll talk with the first of two real-world drivers we have joining us today, third-time Formula Drift champion Chris Forsberg. Additionally, we believe in a world of gaming for everyone, and today we're honoured to speak with SpecialEffect, an organisation known for their charitable work in helping to make gaming accessible to those with disabilities. Then the familiar face of Ali Tak will fire up his torch and illuminate the latest events in the Forza community esports space. And I did promise you two real-world professional drivers today, and the second comes from IndyCar two-time champ Josef Newgarden. He will be gracing us with his presence to unveil his latest upcoming in-game Rivals event. And finally, our community spotlight this month is a streamer who is helping to build up the Forza community amongst our Spanish-speaking gamers. Now, as we always do, we kick these off with the next update. It's time for Series 27, and I am joined with your friend of mine, Dave Orton, game designer at Playground Games. Hello, Dave. Happy second anniversary, Dave.
Woo! Yeah, it's cool. Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to talk about everything we're adding in Series 27. And yeah, 2 years. Who would have thought it? Yeah, super excited.
Our baby's all grown up, Dave. We're going to have to say goodbye to it. It's going to have to go off to university. Oh, bless it. Now, first of all, I have to say Mike Brown was planning on joining us today, but he is unfortunately ill. So we will need an F in chat for Mike. But instead, we do have the wonderful Dave joining us, and we are very happy to have you. So should we kick things off by talking about Series 27 in Forza Horizon 4?
Yeah, let's start with Festival Playlist then. So I think the slides are coming up. Fantastic. So kicking off with our series completion, at 50%, you're going to get the 2018 Megane RS, and at 80%, the 2018 ATS GT. Now for summer, at 50%, you're going to get the Rimac Concept 2, and at 80%, the awesome Apollo Intezza Emozione. We have our first photo challenge, and that is #FriendsInHighPlaces. Where you have to take a photo of your car with another player or driver tar at the Glen Rannoch mast. Now, this is the signal mast that is right at the top, sort of the top left of the maps. You can see for miles, so we're really excited to see what kind of photos you take for that. Moving on, we have a showcase remix that's coming back, Motocross Purposes, that has the Nomad versus the motocross bikes, and lots of cool seasonal PR stunts as well. But more importantly, our new exclusive car, which is another Formula Drift car. It's the 64 Nissan 370Z. Now, this is Chris Forsberg's car, and he's going to be talking about that later in the stream, so don't go anywhere to find out from the man himself. Moving on to autumn, we have another Formula Drift car at 50%. This is the 777 Corvette Formula Drift, and at 80%, the Toyota 2000 GT. For our photo challenge, we've got #HouseOfRod, where you have to take a photo of any Rods and Customs car with the Broadway Church in Broadway. Little tip here, we have a danger sign that allows you to jump over that as well. So I'd be super excited to see anyone take a photo of their car upside down over the church. There you go. You've got,
yeah, that's my favorite. Let's go. Tag me in that, please. I need to see him.
Exactly. For the trial Forza in the forest, you've got a chance of getting the Celica, the 1992 toy Celica, along with lots of other PR stunts there and super wheel spins. And we have another new exclusive car. This is the Lexus RCF, and you can get that by doing the fully loaded season event. Moving on to winter, 50%, you'll be getting the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, and at 80%, the Ferrari 250 GT. We just love to give you all the cool cars. And at our photo challenge for winter, you got #DriveLikeTheWind. See, we're playing on the pun there. Take a photo of any hypercar at the Moorhead Wind Farm. Again, make sure you share these photo challenges online with the hashtag. We love seeing them, and maybe they'll get a mention in the stream later down the line. We have another showcase remix as well. We're bringing one back, Morning Rush. This is Aisha's Taxis, the sort of souped up version versus the train, because that's what we love to do in Horizon by putting awesome engines into taxis and racing against trains. Because why wouldn't you? And then moving on, we've got a chance to win the Chevy Impala and the Polar Protein season event, the Mercedes AMG E63, two really hard to find cars, and also the Caddy Escalade in the Grit and Determination season event. That's a really cool car. So make sure you check out the Grit and Determination season event. Moving on to spring, we have another brand new car. That is the Lexus ISF, and you'll be able to get that by completing 50% of spring. And at 80%, the Maserati 8CTF. For our photo challenge, we have #FordCrossing, where you've got to take a photo of any Ford at Derwent Water. And moving on, we've got some awesome cars to win here, including the Aston Martin Vanquish in the Spring Games. And last but not least, we have another new car, and this time it is the Toyota GT86, and you can get that by completing the Sports Day season event. And also there's a chance to win the Alfa Romeo 8C Forza Edition in the Alfa Romeo and Juliet season event. So yes, there we go. Lots of puns in the festival playlist. We've got 4 cars, a Toyota, 2 Lexus, and a Formula Drift car. So super exciting, yeah.
Amazing. Now, I was going to do a fantastic segue into talking about the new cars, but you've just spelled them out. So let's just dive straight into them, shall we? We don't need me messing around. Let's hear more about them.
Let's jump straight in. Awesome. So yeah, this is the Toyota GT86. A really, really nice hot hatch. It's got 2-litre 4-cylinder engine. Brake horsepower coming in around 197. Rear-wheel drive, awesome car. I suppose the main rival would be something like the Subaru BRZ. But the great thing about this car is it's begging to be modified, and that's kind of the whole premise of this car. You sort of buy it up and you go in and you tune it yourself to really tailor the performance to how you want to drive. And obviously that's something we offer in Forza Horizon 4. So it's really cool to see people can go in and really tune this car in real life, but then go and do it the same again in our game. So take this to the garage, make it your own, get the tune, maybe share it, see what people think of that. And you can get this car by completing the Sports Day Championship in spring. Just looking at the interior here, it's very, very cool.
It sounds great. That's normally the sort of vibe check for me. Does it sound good? Yeah.
Sounds good, looks good. Scott, yeah.
Done. Sold. Let's go.
All the tick boxes. So we move on to the next car then. Great. So this is the Lexus RCF. This is a 5-litre V8, 470 brake horsepower this time, and around 389 pounds of torque. 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, and a top speed of 170 miles per hour. So it's the most powerful V8 that Lexus has built, and it's kind of paired with a specially calibrated 8-speed sports direct shift transmission. Now, the Lexus F marquee represents the sort of high-performance division cars by Lexus, and the F refers to flagship. And this is kind of built, I suppose, as competition to cars like the BMW M3 or M4. So another cool thing about this car is it's actually got, in real life, there's a button to raise or lower the wing at the back. And I feel like if I was either driving or in the passenger seat, I would just be tapping that button all the time because it's so
just
cool.
To irritate whoever was driving.
Yeah, just irritating everyone around me. It's probably not the best thing
up,
to do.
Goes down, goes up, goes
Exactly.
down.
Exactly. So you can get this car by completing the fully loaded seasonal championship in autumn. So make sure you check that out and kit it out in the garage, put a cool livery on it, see what you think of it. Let's move on to the next Lexus then. So this is the 2009 Lexus ISF, another car in the F range, powered by a 5-litre V8, and it's got a sort of 432 brake horsepower, an 8-speed automatic. Not sure if it's the first one, but going for an 8-speed auto is common now, but when they put it in the car here, it wasn't so common. So it's cool to see that is a trend that's continued. So yeah, 8-speed auto, which is great, and does top speed of around 168 miles per hour and 0 to 60 in about 4.3 seconds. It's got really cool, nice, sleek design. I love the color. I love the quad exhausts on it. So yeah, again, make sure you check this out by doing 50% of Spring Festival playlist this series. There you go.
Series 27, that's the one.
Yeah, for Series 27, that's the one,
Gorgeous. Well, they're all stunning, and I'm looking forward to have a go and trying to win them all. But a little birdie told me that you're also improving something else in the game, a little own drag strip, perhaps?
Yes, so we've got a brand new feature coming in Series 27 called the Drag Run. Now, this is a new game mode that's built for people who just love non-stop drag racing. And previously, drag racing has been the most popular race event online in previous series. And we sort of looked at the way we were doing drag racing in Forza Horizon 4 and felt that actually you spend more time loading into the race than you do racing. So we wanted to really sort of hone in and fix that. So we've introduced a new feature called the Drag Run. I don't know if there's a video for this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's play that. Yeah, so essentially, it's drop in, drop out drag racing. You go to any drag race activation point in the world, you select a new option called the Drag Run. And effectively what it does is it puts you in a hopper with other people, gives you a PI restriction, and just gets you on the way to do some drag racing. So the way it works is you do 3 drag races back to back. And the key thing about this is we don't throw you back into free roam each time. You do the drag race and then we reset you right back to the beginning. You do the drag race again. So you'll see in this video here, I think this is me versus Tommy Bargains, and I absolutely smoke him. But
nice.
so it's kind of give you a demonstration of how the flow works. It's me and Tommy Bargains. You do your drag race, and as I say, rather than throwing you back out to free roam where it takes a long time, we just put you straight back and you do the race again. So it's kind of like it's meant to be a mode where you drop in and drop out and have a lot of fun. There you go. I was spamming the chat as well there because
you troll. You're that person, huh?
yeah, that is me. I'm not gonna lie, I've got a bit of a reputation for that in the office, so apologies everyone. And the great thing about it is you do 3 races, and then once you've done those 3, the game will give you a new PI restriction. So say it's S1 for the first 3, it might be S2, it might be C class. And so it's a really good way to test out how competitive your tunes are at each PI class. So yeah, really excited to see people really get stuck in with this feature, because not only you're now testing the tune to yourself, but you're testing it against other people as well. So really excited to see how this mode changes the way you do your tunes, your drag racing. And obviously all of the influence you earn in the drag run will go into the drag racing thread. So there's lots and lots of rewards there. We've actually added some more rewards into the influence thread as well, so real cool incentive to get stuck in. So yeah, that is the drag run. I think I again beat Tom. Yeah.
Should we just let this play out a second? Make sure Tommy really knows he got beat in this one too.
Spamming, sorry.
There it is.
Yeah, even had time to look at the camera and look back at him. So yeah, and obviously that will be coming out Series 27. So get to a drag race and have some fun with the drag run.
Amazing. That sounds phenomenal. And while they're waiting for that, there's a couple of car packs available at the moment. And if you missed them the first time, don't worry, we're going to run through them again right here, right now, aren't we, Dave?
Yes, so we've got some new car packs. This is for anyone who doesn't own the Forza Horizon car pass, but has seen some cars in there and thought, I really want that, but I don't want to go all out on the car pass. So we're adding 2 new car packs arriving in Series Update 27. We've got the High Performance car pack and the Icons car pack. Now, the picture you're seeing here is for the High Performance car pack, and that contains cars that are currently only available to car pass owners. So this will give you the 2017 Ferrari GT C4 Lusso, the 2018 Ford Mustang GT Liberty design, the 1972 Lamborghini Jurama S, the 2014 McLaren Spider 650S, the 2019 Porsche 911 Carrera S, the 1993 Porsche 968 Turbo S, and last but not least, the 2010 Vauxhall Insignia VXR. So cars that are all about pure power and pure performance there. And to move on to the other car pack, there's lots of cars here, so I'm just going to be hitting you with all the cars. Right.
Just take a breath, and then we'll do the next one. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll just take a little drink now. We're good. So we've also got the Icons car pack. And the cars in here are really cool, unique cars that really stand out amongst other players at Horizon. So this will give you the 1968 Ford Mustang GT 22 Fastback, the 1965 Ford Transit, the 1966 Hillman Imp, the 63 Opel Kadett A, the awesome 1965 Peel Trident, which looks a bit like a UFO, the 1959 Porsche A 1600 Super, and the 1966 Volkswagen double cab pickup. Now, it's worth saying that these cars, they are PDLC. There is a charge for this, but if you are a car pass owner, you will already have these cars, so you're covered anyway.
Excellent. Well, there's still a little bit more information to add. But first of all, let's simmer just for a minute on the goodness that has been the past year of Forza Horizon 4. And I've arrived to the stream today with some very fun stats. So let's have a look at them.
Yeah, so we pulled together some stats of everything that's happened over the last year. Just called out a few. We've sold over 42 million houses, which I find amazing.
That real estate market, though.
It is booming over at Horizon UK. The auto show, we've sold over 314 million cars. We've had over 5.2 million people play Eliminator. Obviously, that's a really cool update we added back in December. The most driven Eliminator vehicle, the most popular one, is the Supra. And that is no surprise that the Supra is the the most popular car there. And actually, to sort of conversely to that, the least one is the Austin Taxi. I kind of like the Austin Taxi. I think I think it needs more love. And Tommy Bargains has been absolutely rolling in it and has made, we've sold 1.8 million cars have been sold through one of Tommy Bargains' Forzathon sales.
I was going to say, has he got an affiliate code for that or something? How much is he making off these
I
sales?
reckon Tommy Bargains is getting a hefty royalty check at some point.
I don't think he's Tommy Bargains anymore, you know? He's got a little bit too much to him.
Exactly. Yeah, so just some cool stats there to pull out for everything from year 2, obviously. Lots of people playing the game, and it's super cool to see these stats come through. So yeah, all cool stuff.
Amazing. So let's stick around on year 2 for a little bit longer. I want to know, Dave, what's been your favourite part?
I think going back, it would definitely be the Eliminator. Obviously, this is
great choice.
Battle Royale and Forza Horizon, and it was just such a really fun game mode to make, and we definitely knew we had something because we did a lot of internal play tests, and when we were sort of doing them, once you got eliminated, people would actually go and gather at other people's screens and start booing and heckling to the point where there was only 2 people left, and you had a mass group of people looking at someone's screen. There was a real sort of camaraderie that in the studio and a real synergy. And I think we all came out of that thinking, you know what, we've got something here. And it was great to tie that in with Toyota coming back as well, the Supra. And obviously you can get the Supra by competing in an Eliminator game. And so just that update at Christmas for free as well, it was a really fun update to be a part of. And it goes to show that we love updating the game with great new content, great new game modes, great new ways to play the game, and to give that for free in December was so much fun. And to see the reaction, it was really, really fun.
Amazing. Now, my next question is, what mode did you personally spend the most amount of time playing? For me, I want to say it's Eliminator, but I quickly realized I wasn't very good. But what about you? What did you play about?
So I'm one of those players who just loves to free roam around the world. And like, I'm kind of the player type where people look and go, well, what do they actually do? What are they actually doing? That is me. I just love to just drive around and try out different cars, put them in a festival playlist. I kind of have the game running all the time as I'm working. I sort of just might just go and chill out and just drive down the motorway, or for me it's just like a really nice, because the driving feels so great. I can get this nice zen where I just sort of clear my head and just drive around the world. So if free roam was an option, obviously we fill the world with loads of cool things to collect as well, so we've got lots of bonus boards, and for me I'm all about that kind of platforming gameplay to try and get to the top of a roof of a house or something.
Sure. And what radio station are you rocking during this, please, sir? This is a very important question.
So it started with Bass Arena. I love electronic dance music, but I feel like I've now moved into Timeless FM, because if you want, if you want some class, put on Timeless FM and just like relax to classical music until the Halo music comes on.
Yeah,
and then you're suddenly like, oh, I've got to go.
And then suddenly that's it. Going on the motorway is a completely different vibe. You got to put your foot down and go for it.
Yeah, and it's a really fun station to have because there's so many different emotions in the music. It's super fun. And actually, Don Thompson, the character, the DJ for the station, he's a super fun character to work with as well. So that's probably my favourite station for sure.
Amazing. Perfect. Well, the thing that's been the most amazing about Forza Horizon 4 has actually been the community and how creatively you've all played the game. So is there a moment from the past 12 months that really blew you away and was something you had to share?
100%. Yeah, I think there's so much that I could say. One standout would be Don Juan Song's Project Arcade video. If you haven't seen that, I advise you to go and check it out, where he's basically made gameplay within our game and sort of put it to a video and made his own UI, made his own game flow, effectively made his own game on this video. And it was just really cool to see. You could tell from the initial concept to the final production that there was so much love and craft that had gone into every single step. One thing that I really loved about his video, there's a part where he has made a game mode where you're driving really fast down the motorway to checkpoints that sort of appear in time with the music. So, you know, I love rhythm games, Guitar Hero, that kind of stuff is awesome. So to see someone make Guitar Hero out of Forza Horizon was just like, this is so cool.
Well, actually, you guys turned into a battle royale, and now the community have turned it into like a beats game. It's wild.
Exactly. And I think it get like just the whole community really. We give you the tools to create stuff, and you know, the livery editor, vinyls, being able to create your own routes, photos. And we're just constantly blown away by how creative you are. You use these tools in ways that we never thought we'd see. I think there's someone who made a video almost like stop motion with the livery editor, and it's just absolutely incredible. I think there was actually someone who it was on the recap at the beginning. You know, we're constantly inspired by that, and we share those things. We love it. We love seeing the things that you make, and we share them around the office, and all of us are just absolutely blown away. And it's really humbling, and it's really exciting as well to see that you're enjoying creating this stuff, because we enjoy experiencing the content as well. So yeah, super
I love that you lot are nerds about the wonderful nerds playing the game, and like there's this just cool little like, oh look what everyone's up to sort of going on.
Especially with things like photos as well. I try to take good photos, but then I see one that's been put on the subreddit or something. I just think, how have you done that? That looks so cool. And you guys are a lot better than us at creating cool photos, especially me anyway. That we see.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Mine are great. But anyway, thank you so much for looking back with us. But we do have something to look forward to now. As I said, top of the show, Mike Brown, effing chats, unfortunately is ill and is unable to join us today. But Dave has been having some fun with the Custom Route Creator, making a little bit of, well, let's say, entertainment for you today. These two designers are looking to stump each other by creating the most challenging route they could possibly devise. But you in chat are going to be the judge of the designer challenge and see who made the hardest route. So in place of Mike, it is a pleasure to have Ali Tack subbing in. But Dave, let's hear more about this monstrosity of a track you've made for Ali and what's it's called.
Fantastic. So I've made this route here called Forest Frenzy. Now, I made it for Mike because when he plays a limiter, he does like to say that he is great at going through forests. So I thought, well, let's put that to the test and let's actually make a route that goes through the forest. So there's a bit of thought behind this, but we'll get into more detail when you can actually see it. Ali, how are you thinking about driving through the forest at high speed?
I feel great about it. I feel fantastic. It's nice that you made a route to torture Mike with.
And now I'm torturing you with it, right?
and absorb that and be a part of that. So I feel very privileged. I feel like Mike Brown might be the budget Mike Brown. Certainly. I'm definitely a more ritzy version. Nice to be here though. And looking forward to smashing your course.
Right, okay, so first of all, I put it in winter because obviously make it a bit harder
to begin with.
Yeah. And right, let's see how you get on then.
You ready? Yeah, ready to kick off?
Yeah, let's go straight in. Let's go straight in.
Let's do it.
So I suppose there's a few layers to this. I did actually think it through, but so there's like I think 4 or 5 different phases where you go through the forest each time. It gets harder. So I think the first phase is fairly straightforward, but it'll get much more harder as you go through.
Okay.
I've actually got rolling time. So the slower you are, it should turn to nighttime. So there's like an inbuilt timer where you've got to be quick. So let's see how you get on.
It feels good so far. I mean, that section was fine. This is where things get a bit more scary.
Yeah, this is where it goes on.
This is the easy section.
I love that.
This is the easy section. So this is phase 1. You got more like the checkpoints have got quite a lot of width. And each time you come out the forest, it will get the checkpoints will get thinner and thinner to the point where they're pretty much on the tree, where you have to like go as close as you can to the tree. So that's phase 1. You're going to phase 2 now. They're getting a bit thinner, and let's see how you get on.
Oh yeah, okay. Dino, get out of my way, Dino! Come on! Oh man. Okay.
Oh
no.
Dear.
Focus.
We're already a third of the way through.
For a second, Dave. Let's get around this thing here. Right, we got this.
Oh no!
You got this. You're only 40% of the way through. Don't worry. It's
This is
Don't get
like a
too
pain.
confident,
This is
Dave.
just a
It's
pain
your turn after
simulator.
this.
In game, excuse me, thank you. In game, forest pain.
Yeah. So
Made
now you can see the
for-
checkpoints are getting thinner now, and it's getting darker. So that is a deliberate attempt to increase the pressure on you, Ali.
The pressure's, yeah, I'm feeling it. Feeling that pressure.
But you're doing pretty well, actually. I probably should have made this harder.
I feel like it's one of those, you know, it's rhythm, you know? You get back into your rhythm, you feel good about it. It's the moments when you just hit like it's like when you think you can make it past a tree, but you hit the root or whatever, and no. And you have to, you know, it makes you stop and all that stuff. That's the hard bit.
That was a bit of a blind jump there. That was a bit unfair on my behalf. But in the essence of trying to give you a hard challenge.
It's fine because I'm pretty sure when Mike loaded me up beforehand with a pretty devious route that he'd put together as well. So in a second, the tables are going to turn, and I'm going to take profound pleasure, Dave, in watching you suffer through some blind jumps.
I can see the name of the one he's made for me already, so we'll see how that goes.
We will see how that goes.
Right, so this one now, the
There we
checkpoints
are.
are actually on the tree, so you have to pretty much just skirt each tree.
Mean. And excuse me, chaps. Did I cross that? I think I crossed that. Lovely.
There you go. So yeah, you got to go as close as you can to the tree without crashing into it. But you're actually nailing it. So fair play. Slight wrong way.
I'm in third now. I don't think I'm going to make it up to
How are you
up to
not-
the lead.
how are you not
81%
first?
of the way through.
Yeah, you're near the end now. I think there's a final bit downhill. Still going as close as you can.
The cruelest course. This is so cruel. My poor little Lego car. Oh, man. I don't think there's a way through that one without just going into the tree. Like,
Yeah,
some of them
are definitely like that.
sacrifice myself, send it.
And then you got to, like, you know, put your foot down, flag, awesome finish. And
Here
there
we
you
go,
have it.
that's it.
Forest Frenzy. How do you feel?
Easy, Dave.
not
Easy. So when
worthy.
does it get hard? Does it get hard now? Is there like is there a second level? When's the hard bit?
Let's see what Mike's made. Let's see what Mike's made first.
Right, okay. Well, Ali, that was pretty good, but now it's your turn to turn this back on Dave. So what have you got in store for him?
So yeah, exactly. I put my best man on this. Mike Brown took some of his time, and he's really got his head down. I'm very proud of the work that he's done. It's work that represents, I think, the best work of our team, which is me and Mike Brown. And it's I would say an accompaniment to Microsoft Flight Simulator, the latest and this is actually called Microsoft Tree Dodging Simulator 2020. It's one I think you're going to really enjoy, Dave. I think it's going to bring out the best in you. It's going to look for character. It's going to build character.
Right, and it's
I'm
raining.
pumped.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Oh no.
One with rain rather than full snow.
So Mike's gone straight in with, like, it's just hard from the get-go. It's raining and it's already dark. He's just not messing around to it. Oh,
I love the tank pools as well. They give an extra little je ne sais quoi that it's just delicious.
I love how this starts with just, it's called tree. Ooh, here we go. Okay, right, we're talking now. We're talking. Right. It's like treetop simulator, but we just got a bit of a scramble around the festival. Where are the trees?
That's right. Yeah, that's how it gets you. That's it. It's luring you into a false sense of security right now. They say a tree has never hit a car apart from in self-defense, and we'll see that later as this continues to develop.
Right.
Your choice of car, interesting for this one, Dave. You want to talk us through it? A little Peugeot. No,
yeah, so I went for the Metro because I think it's I think it handles off-road. It's quite a nippy car for off-road. So given that it was called Treetop Simulator, I thought, well, I'm going to be going through the... here we go. We're in exact the same... He's already done what I've done. He's just done the same thing, but he's done it straight away. Oh, wow. This is brilliant. You basically... He's just gone into, like, okay, right, I'm going to just zone in on this. If mine started on medium, this has started on, like, insane. Okay.
Are you finding this a bit hard? Because it gets tricky later.
Easy.
This is like the easy warm-up for you. Later on, it's going to go up a little bit.
I got so much training for when I did it myself. Easy. Look at that.
Brutal.
No messing. When does it get hard then, Ali? When catch up with Mike and say, make it harder.
That's my line.
Yeah, I'm just seeing your line now.
That was good. You did well.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen both the races, but we want the viewers to be watching to actually help determine who did the better job at racing the challenging route. So as a reminder, this poll is going to be live on Twitch in chat right now. And this is to decide who raced the better route right now. Not who made them, but who raced the better route. Was it Dave or is it Ali? And while we're waiting on those results, Dave, let's start with you. What did you think of Mike/Ali's joint venture?
So first of all, I love the fact that we both pretty much did the same thing where we went in the same forest. But I think it was the same start location. So yeah, the fact that it started and it was raining, it was nighttime, and there was a nice false sense of security. I say nice. There's never a nice false sense of security with the drive around the festival site until it took me to the forest. I would say I'd say a good solid 7 out of 10. Could have been harder, but solid 7 out of 10.
It would have been harder if you hadn't been able to corner all the trucks at the beginning. You'd been stuck behind them. So
yeah, exactly. So I could overtake them initially. So yeah, it was good fun. Though. Good fun.
What about you, Ali? What did you think of Dave's route?
Dave's route, yeah, difficult. I mean, quite long. I was surprised by how long it was, or maybe that was just like how my emotions were making time feel at the time. I'm not quite sure. It was definitely incredibly painful. As an experience for me, and one that I'll probably hate to look back on. Might have waking dreams about it later on, wake up in a cold sweat type thing. It was pretty bad. I think my performance in it was 10 out of 10, not going to lie. I think that is an understatement, if anything. But the route itself, a solid 8.
Brimming off you is amazing. I love it. I shan't delay the inevitable any longer. The results are in, and it's a resounding Ali has won. So congratulations.
What's this all about? My people, thank you.
Oh, it was Dave.
Wait.
No. How can you do this to me, Charlie?
Wait, have I won?
Dave, you won.
I won.
Dave.
I mean, way to play on my emotions.
Happened. Dave, you won. Do you want to just tell the folks what they've won at home for having listened to me mess that up?
Well, way to play with my emotions there. I think we should give everyone, because it's the 2-year anniversary, the McLaren Senna. There we go. Everyone gets a McLaren Senna.
Oh, thank you very much. A Senna for you.
That's right.
Amazing. So, folks, your prize will be available in the next coming days, so keep an eye on your message center. If you're looking to take your own bite out of these spicy custom routes, we will release the share codes on social so you can take a crack at them yourself and for me to falsely crown you the winner of this challenge. Now, usually here we would say thank you for having a look at the 27 content update. It'll be available tomorrow. Go play it. Goodbye. Blah, blah, blah. But we're not going to do that because we have one more piece we'd like to talk about. All right, Dave.
It is, yes. It is the Formula Drift car. Let's look at it. So, yes. So, as we said before in the stream, Chris Forsberg is actually on the stream. He'll be talking much more in detail about this car, but you'll be able to get this car by completing the Nissan Cup Seasonal Championship in summer. And as you know, Formula Drift cars in Forza Horizon are really, they're sort of perfect for getting your 3 stars in your drift zones, for your seasonal championship drift zones as well. So we have a lot of fun with that. From the get-go, they are really fun to drive, and you can see it by this road here. It's just such a fun car to drive. And looking at this now, I just want to drive it. It's got loads of grip, loads of power, and it's just sort of perfect for drifting. I mean, there's nothing more I can say other than it's super cool, and it's Chris Forsberg's car, and he'll be talking about it in more detail, much better than I have just done then. But yeah.
Was going to say, should we have a chat with Chris? Because I think he's probably got a few things to say. I'd like to thank Dave and Ali, of course, who's no longer on the screen anymore. But thank you so much for stepping in for Mike. Let's have a look at the real world version of this car first, though, shall we? So now you've seen that, please allow me to welcome 3-time Formula Drift champion, Chris Forsberg. How you doing, bud?
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Amazing. Well, let's start with the basics. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into racing.
So I first got into drifting back in like 99, 2000. And it was the first form of racing I had ever gotten into. I had never done, karting or autocross or anything like that. It was just drifting seemed to be the most exciting thing to do with a car. And so I was self-taught through those early years. And coming into 2003, myself and a couple guys, we went on to Raceway Park, New Jersey, and we met up with the track owner there. And we actually talked to him about throwing the first organized drifting events on the East Coast of America. And so we had those going they're actually still running to this day. They're the longest running grassroots events in the country.
Check them out. Yeah.
So I had moved to California at the end of 03, at the end of that first year, to pursue a career in professional drifting, which didn't exactly exist at the time. But months later, Formula Drift announced their championship series at the SEMA show in 2003. And I was there for the very first round and have been at every single round ever since.
Amazing. Now, major question for me. How do you get into drifting? How does anyone get into drifting?
So it's an easy sport to get into. It might be a little difficult to learn. However, it is all it takes is a rear-wheel drive car and an open lot. And there are many different organizations that allow drifting around the country now, and over in England and Europe and everywhere else. And so whether it's a road course or a big empty parking lot, skid pad type setup, there are just open areas for you to go out and just throw the car sideways and be able to put some style to it. Because like I said, to me, drifting is the most fun you can have with a car. And at these events, there's always someone that's there willing to lend a hand, some advice, even a part if you need one, because it is a sport that takes a little bit of time. As a racer, you basically, you start by getting around the road course and you only get faster. But with drifting, you actually have to learn the art of it before you can really connect the course.
Amazing. So let's go back to Formula Drift quickly. How long did you say you've been competing for?
So I've been competing at every round since 2004, so coming on 16 years now. And we've through that, we've had the most tandem head-to-head wins, the most podiums, and we have 3 championships overall.
Okay, amazing. Now, not to sort of change the tone a little bit, but this year has been a little bit different to what everyone expected it was going to be, wasn't it? So how have you been appreciating and spending your time off?
So we would love to say that we have time off, but we're always pushing for something else. And so since we weren't out at the track actually racing, we're here in the shop, creating new builds and doing new shows and just creating a lot of content, trying to keep our friends and fans engaged with what we're doing, and not just sitting around waiting for the tracks to open back up, which they have. We had our first and second round 2 weeks ago. And so the way that they're doing it now, since it was pushed so far into the year, we're actually doing double header rounds. So we have to have the car ready for a practice day and then 2 competition days, Saturday and Sunday, back to back. And so it makes it a little more challenging. And also they're all kind of crammed together. We're actually leaving for Seattle and tomorrow. So we have another race this weekend.
Wow. Okay. So how have you had to change your approach to that? I imagine unprecedented how you have to prepare for these new seasons and races.
Yeah, so we have to be a little more prepared with spare parts and things like that, because we usually would have up to 3, 4, 5 weeks in between rounds to really go over the car and look at it, kind of like what they're doing right now. The crew guys going through and nut and bolting it, checking everything over. We go through the entire suspension, make sure nothing's broken or cracked or loose. But now we only have hours. And so to finish up the race on Saturday night, we have to go through the whole car as quickly as possible to make sure that we're good to race the next day.
Goodness me. So between me and you, don't worry, the microphone's off. How are you feeling about the event this weekend?
I'm feeling pretty good. We've had a lot of good success at Seattle. We've won there before. We've podiumed many times. And that's actually been like a turning point in championships for us in the past. Coming from, 4th, 3rd or 2nd, and then like winning that round and kind of taking the lead and holding it throughout the rest of the year. So it's been a turning point event for us, and I'm hoping for it to be the same this year.
Amazing. So we're going to move on to what we're all here to talk about. The amazing folks from Playground showed off your car in Forza Horizon 4. What is that like, and can it happen to me one day?
It's yeah, of course it can. You know, as a kid, you know, always playing video games and, you know, being into, you know, cars and racing myself, to see my car in the game and actually be able to play the car is just a whole different experience, because, you know, you're always just kind of picking your favorite, picking some sort of like classic or legend or whatever. And to actually have the option to pick a car that I built in real life is nuts. And, you know, seeing like the gameplay even right now, and like some of the teasers and screenshots I saw, it's pretty surreal. You know, this is something that I think every kid could aspire for, is to, you know, become a self-taught builder and driver, and then eventually be able to get your car into a game that you used to play.
And that's it right there. It's like, is that, I can't even have the words to like see what it's like to have something so physical and so personal to you, to be, you can pick it up with a controller and just play the exact same experience. Is it, I can't even, it's insane.
Yeah, so it's cool, especially you know, I've in my time off this year, I've also found some time to get into more of the racing and sim racing and stuff like that. So we've actually been really anticipating this, because I kind of like you know, kickstarted my love for video games and racing and stuff online, because it is, you know, a lot easier to do than loading up the race car and going to the racetrack. So
yeah,
you know, we don't have time to you know, to play outside the track, but we have, and I'm hooked again.
Okay, fantastic. So let's share your experience with the folks watching at home. You are the #1 expert of this car. What can viewers expect in sense of how it feels to drive and the grip on the road and stuff like that?
Sure. Well, the thing with Formula Drift cars, especially, that most people don't consider, is that we don't set them up to slide. We actually set them up to have as much grip as possible. If we were to put a little bit of aerodynamics on this car, it would be an incredible race car around a track. I mean, they make 1,000 to 1,200 horsepower. They have, you know, massive tires on there with, you know, very low pressures, very soft springs, and we try and get as much mechanical grip out of the cars as possible, because that's what allows us to place the car as close as we can to other walls or other cars on the track, and maintain control to be able to, you know, press in and pull back when necessary. Because if the car was just loose and slick, it'd be like driving on ice or, you know, in the wet. It's really hard to control. And so we want that same driving ability as you would with a race car on the dry. So we have that same feeling. That's why the cars make so much horsepower, so that when we're going 80 plus miles an hour, we can still keep the rear tires spinning and control the speed of the car.
Amazing. Now, with that in mind, I hear you have a challenge to the players.
Yeah, so of course we, you know, not only are excited to see the car in the game itself, but we want to see what everyone else is doing with the cars. So, you know, if you're out there, you know, running in drifting competitions or just having fun with your squad and you're running around in the, you know, open formats, you know, we want to see you get creative with the car and, you know, submit the videos and use the hashtag Forsberg Horizon, so that we can see these videos. And we're going to go through and pick some of our favorites, repost some, and maybe even send out some prizes for the, you know, our better favorites.
Amazing. Now, I can't put off this question any longer. Looking at where you are right now, do you think you can show us around your garage of what you've got back there?
Yeah, of course. So this might get a little bumpy, so bear with me.
Carry me with you.
So this is a 350Z that we built for like grassroots style drifting. It's got a little wide body on it, slam lowered roll cage, things like that. This is another little grassroots drifter that's my partners and teammates. That is a turbo E36, so custom turbo setup that we did on there. And so this one's getting ready to, you know, go out and just have some fun. These are the cars that we drive outside of our main competition cars. And
the fun cars.
This is a Nissan 370 that was built by MA Motorsports for Nissan North America, with the new engine that's going to be in the new Z. So this was kind of like a little precursor, a little hat tip to what was about to come. And so this car debuted at SEMA 2 years ago. And so it has the twin turbo V6 engine from the Infinity stuffed into a 370Z, which was the first and only of its kind. And then so over here, you know, this is what we call like our party cars. So we have my Datsun Gold Leader Z right here. So that's one of my favorites. This car was built. and won the Super Street Best in Show at SEMA. This car is basically a carbon copy of my race car. So it is a twin turbo V6 engine, but it is not the VR engine that we run in the race car. It is a VQ, so makes about 600 horsepower. So it's a little more reliable for when we're going out to the demos and having some fun with it. But the suspension, the brakes, everything else about it is all the same as the race car. So if we ever had a situation and we had to break out a demo car, we have that ability. So
That's
we
good.
were just basically,
I like that.
and it's a full competition car. And then up here is my 4-seater, one of the only purpose-built 4-seater drift cars in the world. It has a V8, the VK56, out of the Nissan pickup truck. Well, yeah, if you look at it, so it's big old car, 4 doors, and we take this one out to Grid Life specifically to give rides, because the best part about drifting is, giving rides and having fun with all your friends. And this last one, that's the actual 2010 NASCAR, one of my favorites, generations, like, the real long nose and everything else, all steel body. But we actually pulled the Toyota V8 engine out of it and we put a 2JZ into it. So it's actually a Toyota-powered Toyota NASCAR with a probably the only one in the world that we know of, at least.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I would feel silly if I didn't ask this, but can we, knowing the people who we have watching these streams who are so excited about like cars and tuning, can we get up close and personal with one of them and maybe walk us through like some of the exterior or interior elements of it?
Sure. So this one would probably be the most relatable. So this is my 370Z that is, my 350Z that is built for grassroots drifting. Like I said, it's got a roll cage and everything in there. I'm trying to show you guys. So it's got full roll cage, we got our grip roll steering wheel, we got the handbrake set up in there. And then we also have the Recaro bucket seats. So Recaro bucket seats, Takata harnesses, roll cage, like I was saying. So everything you need to pass tech and be safe out at a local drift event. It's all gutted out in the back, and it's just a very nice, fun, cheap car to build and drive. And then up in the engine bay.
Yeah, this is the bit. Let's have a look.
One, it's actually very simple. This is it's just got intake, headers, and exhaust, and a couple of little bolt-ons. Makes about 300, maybe 310 horsepower. So perfect little grassroots drift car. This is the type of thing that you would want to have to go out and learn how to drift in. So because if you go over to my demo car over here, hopefully there's enough.
Let's go. I'm going to keep us on this for so long because I'm fascinated, by the way. So sorry, everyone.
Oh, sure. So the difference with that and this demo car, you can see the difference in the engine bay on this one. So this one's twin turbo, V6. It's all gutted out in the front end. It's got the radiator in the back. And it is, like I said, basically a full pro car that was detuned to be a demo car. But same thing with the Recaro seats, the roll cage, and everything else in there, and full carbon fiber body, because we need that for the lightweight ability.
Sure. And it looks like you've got loads of stuff around the room as well. Like it's not just the cars, but you are stacked with some equipment in there too, huh?
Yeah, well, we have all of our spare parts here. So we have some shifter cars, we have our spare tires, all of our spare fluids. And then as far as actually getting work done around here in this back room, this is our fabrication room. So we have this set up so all the dust and dirt and debris stays back here, keeps the cars clean. And we got a plasma table. We got all the metal cutting and grinding tools that we need. And, like a nice big fab table over here. And then that's pretty much where all the, dirt and dust happens. And then we come out and we build the cars out here in the clean side. So a couple spare motors, a bunch of racks with some parts on them, things like that. But it's a lot of fun, just being able to hang out and work on cars here in the shop all the time.
Actually, sounds like we've just had a look inside the Dream Factory, and I want to thank you on behalf of not just me, but I imagine everyone in chat. Thank you so much for showing us your shop, and good luck at the event this weekend.
Of course. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
No worries. See ya. Anyway, let's switch gears real quick from real world racing back to virtual racing, where everyone has an opportunity to be a driver. Take a look at this.
Games are a big part of my life. With my disability, it was one of the only things I could do for enjoyment. So gaming has really opened up that door for me, and it helps connect you to other people in this world.
I can't do a lot by myself, but I can play video games on my own, which gives me a good sense of independence and achievement.
It's just a release for the monotony of the day. If you're not feeling well or you're uncomfortable, it takes your mind off it and gives me something to look forward to.
As a parent, it's made so much difference to Chase being able to access video games. It creates a level playing field. He can do an activity that he wouldn't be able to do in normal day-to-day life. But even better, with gaming, he can play alongside someone.
SpecialEffect are bringing families and friends closer together through video games. The setups we create are personalised, so people can play to the very best of their abilities. And this opens the door to inclusion and independence, confidence and creativity. Help us level the playing field and create many more magical gaming moments.
Now, following that hugely touching video, I am honoured to welcome, who is it? Dr. Mick, of course, Dr. Mick in the house, CEO and founder of SpecialEffect. Can you start to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you started to start the charity?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting myself and my colleague Liz to join me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. In a nutshell, my background is in education, and I was deputy director of a national centre who were helping young children to access their education using technology. And at the end of the day, a long day's assessment where we managed to get them the right tools to be able to do their maths and English, the parents would come and say, come up to me and say, almost guiltily, say, well, that's great, and we're really, really grateful, but what can he do when he gets home from school at 3:30? How can he make friends? How can he play with his brother and sister? How can he play with his granddad? You know, and you just think there's a huge hole in these young people's lives. And in the video that you just saw, the young guy says it helps you to connect to other people in this world, and that's absolutely right. I realised that that's what gaming could potentially do. It could help children with severe physical disabilities, put them on a level playing field so they can join in with everyone else and play. And it wasn't just me. The United Nations Article 31 says every child has the right to play. And that's what we're doing. Wasn't just my idea. Our whole idea is to let everyone play. And basically, I decided that I'd start a new charity because there's nowhere else to send those children to. So I just decided I'm going to have to do this myself. Nowhere in the UK to do it, so I have to do it myself. I've been lucky enough to get a group of very talented people, professionals like Liz, an occupational therapist around me, to try and find the best possible way for everyone who comes to us. It's not just children now, it's people of all ages. Everyone who comes to us with severe disability, they want to play a particular game and they want to play it to the best of their ability, and that's what we do. And we help them throughout their lives to do that. So they come to us, they'll change, their abilities will change, the games they want to play will change, and our technology will change, and we will help them along every step of the way throughout their lives. Yeah, that's what we do.
What an amazing summation that was. And the video that we just watched was just a tiny glimpse. But for those unfamiliar, what exactly does SpecialEffect do? You say you help children along their journey through gaming, but in what particular way?
Yeah, well, basically, anyone in the UK can get in touch with us and they'll say, you know, will you help me to be able to play? Or their parents will get in touch if they're younger. And then we will do our best to find out as much as we possibly can about the kind of game they want to play. We'll get in touch with them, make inquiries, prepare the assessment. Usually we'll actually visit them face to face and see them face to face. Currently, because of their vulnerability, we're unable to do that. So we're continuing that intensive one-to-one support online through video calls, team viewer to share the computers, etc., so that we can, customize their kit. We will have someone at the other end who will be the hands of the team. We've got a team at our end. There'll be the person who's being assessed, and there will be someone there who we can instruct on exactly what to do and exactly where to position things. So it's the next best thing to actually being there. And as I say, we then. So we do that with what we learn from those that intensive one-to-one work, from what we learn from each person that we work with. The whole idea is that, okay, that's good for them, but what about everybody else on the planet? We want to help everyone with a disability, physical disability, not to be prevented from playing because of their disability. And so what we do is we put training materials, training information, videos, and training resources generally up online in our game access info site to help. It's searchable, so people will be able to look at, racing, they want to play a racing game, and they might only have control over one hand or just one arm. And they'll be able to narrow down that search. And one of the things they'll find is that Playgrounds Forza is actually playable with one joystick. And that's because of some collaboration that we did with them a little while back. So we've got the training resources that are available, but also, as I say, we collaborate with developers like Turn 10, like Playgrounds, like EA, and as well as that, we help develop. We're one of the team who helped develop the adaptive controller, which is like an interface to let lots and lots of different switches and gizmos be used with different size joysticks, etc., that suit the individual to be plugged into and to be able to play mainstream games. And we helped as well Logitech they've got a Switch kit. We were one of the organizations that helped develop their Switch kit, so that you've actually got a range of switches, buttons to be able to plug into your adaptive controller to enable a lot more people to play than those who used to be able to. Yeah, so we come at the world from all angles, from the individual to the global. That's
totally. Yeah. And you're so passionate, I could listen to you forever. But the one thing I really want to know is sort of, you've spent time with these incredible children and you understand their journeys and what they aspire to do with video games. What difference do you feel has actually been made to their lives by sort of giving them the ability to play games?
What's lovely is that you can release, it's like this fire in kids' bellies to compete, to be better than their brother or sister, to play against someone and beat them online. And of all technologies I've come across that help people with disabilities, access to video games can enable you to literally play on a level playing field with anyone on the planet. You can be anyone you want, and you can play with and against anyone you want. So it's competition, it's friendship. For the first time, a lot of these kids have got something to do when friends are invited to their houses. They can actually play with each other. There was one little lad, I'll be really, really quick, but on that video, one of the lads is playing loads and loads and loads of buttons. He's just got a whole tray full of them. And one of his games is FIFA. And basically, with him, his mom, when he was in primary school, his mom would invite children home to be able to play with them. What would happen? But they'd go and play outside football with his older brother. So as soon as he was able to play football on FIFA, then all of a sudden, something they could compete, and they had a reason to communicate. So it's a great way to make friends, it's a great way to compete, and it's just a great way to be included. There are no boundaries in the virtual world. There are lots of boundaries, as we know, at the moment in particular, in the real world. But actually, you can take people right out of their lockdown state, and they can be, as I say, whoever that they want to be, wherever they want to be, and to play with whoever they want to. And that's what's really important.
That's so inspiring. And one of my favorite examples I've seen of how to make a mainstream game accessible to everyone is this very short video clip we have now of a young boy called Josef. Dr. Mick, what can you tell us about Josef?
Yeah, I just love this clip because Turn 10 have just they've put in such a wonderful range of assists that not only can really top quality gamers compete with Forza, but they're putting so many assists, but such a thoughtful design that actually almost anyone can play. And here's a little guy. This video is actually the first time he played, And his dad was so excited. And the little video clip, it's only a few seconds, but his dad tweeted this. And there were literally thousands of people all around the planet just as delighted as he was. And as I say, it's just a little clip. But here he is pressing just one button, and he's able to do a racing circuit. And I think it took him probably about an hour to be able to do that circuit.
As he wants. Let's check him out. I want to see Josef in action. Oh, look at him go, Dr. Mick.
Yeah, it gets me every time. That did you hear the noises that he makes? It's just noises of absolute delight. That's probably certainly the first time he's played a video game, and he's playing the same video game as his dad. How great is that?
Oh, it's phenomenal. And at this point, I'd like to welcome another phenomenal individual to the stream. This is your colleague, Liz Power, who is one of the Special Effect assessment team. Hello, Liz. Hi. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to join the Special Effect team?
Yep. So I trained as an occupational therapist. I qualified 3 years ago, and this was my first job as an occupational therapist, quite a specialist role. And I'll be honest, I hadn't heard about the charity before I applied, but they happened to be looking for people around the time I finished school, and I went to school in the area. So as soon as I found out about them, I went and watched all of their videos. They just started making some training videos and some case studies, and I was just really amazed at the fact that, like Mick said, how this kind of technology can really connect people and bring them together in a way that I hadn't really thought about before. And to me, that was exactly what occupational therapy was all about, and helping people to just do the things that they want to do, that their friends are doing, and it's, just getting bigger and bigger every day. So.
Oh, how incredible. Okay, so let's have a chat about the process and what that's like to actually work with someone who's unable to use a standard controller and to get them to the point where they're able to jump in and beat all their friends.
Yeah, sure. So for some people, it's a quick process that only takes, a couple of visits. And for some people, it takes much longer to find out the right solution for them, and things that can change along the way. So as Mick said, we're a lifelong service, but generally somebody will get in touch, and then they'll get one of the 8 of us now, OTs, will become their contact person, and then we'll kind of start that partnership together to find out what their physical strengths are, so what kind of movements they can do best. And then we have a whole stock full of equipment, of switches and things like the adaptive controller that have helped us to kind of hack into consoles, if you like, and adapt different setups and remap buttons and things until we find the right thing for them. And they'll loan that and try that for a while, and then we'll just keep sort of adding to their setup if they like to play a new game comes out or whatever.
Oh, that's amazing. And I've heard you'd actually like to premiere a video of someone you've helped trying to play games like Forza Horizon 4. So let's start off by saying, how did you help them?
Yeah, so this is Tony. Our team worked with Tony, who is a longtime gamer. I won't give too much away. And he was able to access a controller before, but not really able to play at the level that he'd like to be able to, especially to beat his son, I heard was a big goal of his.
Love that.
So we worked with him to play Forza, actually, I think both Horizon and Motorsport. And he finds it difficult to use the bumpers and the triggers on the controller. So it was hard for him to do all the things that you had to do at the same time. So what we did was got him some switches to use on the floor with his feet. So I think he does accelerate and brake with his feet, and then he uses the rest of the controller to steer with his arms, and that's how he plays.
Yeah, and people do often ask us, what difference, does it make to the lives of these people? And, but what one guy who hadn't played for 15 years, for example, said, thank you for giving me my life back. It meant that much to him. It's so important. And certainly, you'll hear Tony. He just expresses so brilliantly what it actually means to be able to play enjoyment and be.
Okay, well, let's have a look at Tony then, shall we?
Back in the day, I used to play things like Jetpack on the Spectrum and Chucky Egg and all these sort of games that are so old school now. I loved them because I could control left and right and I could control up and down, so I just roll my hand over a left and a right and an up and a down, and it was fine. And then over the years, you then move on to things like an Atari, which had a joystick, which was really good, and one button, so that was fine. But then obviously the new technologies come through and the new super consoles, and they are fabulous, but they have more buttons than I can cope with. The bumpers and the triggers, I just can't really use them, which made it a lot more difficult for me, especially as things like the racing games, which I loved, are powered by the triggers on the back of the controller. And then it was mainly through a guy called Steve, who works at Game Telford, that I found out about SpecialEffect and the work they do with disabled gamers. I've got a positive reply, come down, come see us, come play games. And we sat in this very same room, asked me how I played games, so I got into my contorted positions of how I was trying to use triggers and how I couldn't really use both triggers at the same time or any of the bumpers. After they had watched me struggling and in this contorted position where I get a hip ache and backache and all sorts of different ailments because of trying to play a game for more than half an hour, we suddenly realised that all these buttons could be configured and I can actually use my feet. Now, the first time we put the buttons on the floor and I took my shoes off and started using my feet, it was incredible. It was just opened up so many possibilities gaming-wise. It was just amazing, and it literally opened up the world of gaming to me, and I can literally play any game I want to now. On earlier consoles, myself and my son Taylor could play a lot of games and we could compete quite nicely, but with these newer consoles, as soon as they started having triggers on the back of the controllers, he kind of got away from me. But now that I can actually get to the triggers, I can now beat him on Forza, whether it be Horizon or whether it be Motorsport. The balance of power has been addressed and I'm now blowing him away, giving it the beans down the straights, slamming on the brakes because I can, and taking the corners on a racing line rather than through a wall, and I can now beat the boy, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, Tony, and I'm fully on side. Like, I'm a parent myself, and I know what it means to actually, want to demonstrate, like, I can beat you at this game because one day I know you'll beat me. So I absolutely love that. The video is so heartwarming. I also understand that your charitable organization, you have a big fundraising event coming up this year. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we are a charitable organisation. We don't charge anything for either our help in developing video games or the help and equipment that we loan out and send out to people. So fundraising is really important to us, but there is a particularly special day coming up, October 2nd, Friday, October 2nd, and that's an opportunity when the games industry they give part of their revenue that's raised by people playing particular games, some mobile games, some console games, etc. Part of that revenue raised on that day will come to us so that we can carry on our work with individuals. An increasing number of individuals are getting in touch day on day to help us to continue with developing our game base of game access info, so that we can keep spreading the word, help more professionals and individuals find out about accessible gaming, and also to continue our work collaborating with developers, as well as one or two other projects as well. So those are the main funds, our biggest fundraising event. So if people are interested, go to the SpecialEffect website, go to events, one special day, and there you'll find from the 28th, I think that's next week, beginning of next week, they will find out which games they can play and enjoy themselves, but also help us and the people that we support at the same time. So we'd be really very grateful. And also throughout the month of October, we're really pleased. We'll be showing, there will be some more videos like these that we're going to be sharing each week. Forza were kind enough to collaborate with us to create films like Tony's, videos like Tony's, and other case studies, and they will be coming out throughout the month. So, people could keep an eye out on those.
I absolutely cannot wait to see them. And from the bottom of my heart and everyone watching, thank you both so much for taking the time to chat with us about SpecialEffect and all the amazing work that is done by your organization. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
No worries.
Bye.
See ya.
Cheers.
Now, we are almost ready for an esports update, but first, let's see what everyone made. So stand up and take notice in this month's Forzatography post. Now, you try saying that out loud. Forzatography post. Some of that looked like genuine real world photography. Absolutely my favorite part of every single month. Congratulations on everyone who got selected. But now let's bring back Ali Tak for an all new update on esports. Hello, Ali.
Hey, Charlie. Yeah, it's been an amazing month for esports. The esports community has been buzzing. And a lot of you motorsport fans out there might know the Le Mans 24-hour happened just recently. What also happened alongside that was the official esports of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and that was run on Forza Motorsport 7. So it's been an awesome month.
It has been absolutely huge. Shall we? I think you've got something to show us. Should we have a look at that?
Let's check it out.
Let's do it. Oh, play the thing!
Down the inside. What on earth is that Red Bull car doing? He's got the run. The new car, the Red Bull car will slow off the final corner, and that's going to be Nyman through. And Price is going to try and follow him through on the inside as well. That might be 2 positions lost in one straight for Arnu, and it is, so he's shuffled down the order. As
under entry, it looks like the Kuba Brzezinski car is slightly ahead. He's on the left, and to the right is Robin Becker, and Robin Becker looks to have backed out of that one. Kuba Brzezinski running just a little bit wide, and Kuba Brzezinski is through. Kuba Brzezinski of Williams Esports takes the race lead. The last race win of the competition is going to go to Kuba Brzezinski for Williams Esports. A brilliant drive from him, but behind that, Robin Becker is going to lead home the Red Bull Racing team. They are crowned your champions in the 2020 Le Mans Esports Series Super Final. Fantastic performance from Red Bull Racing. They come across the line in formation and they take the overall victory.
And we're back. So, Ali, let's talk about the winners and who left the event wanting more.
Who left wanting more? It was a brilliant event, and for what we saw there was just the last moment of like a 4-day long extravaganza of racing, people driving cars from all the decades of Le Mans history. So a really great event, a very long and hard fought one. In the end, yeah, the Red Bull Racing team did an amazing job. You know what, like JSR John, one of the community members out there, if you guys don't follow him on Twitter, that's at JSR_John, because he's worth a follow. He asked everyone who was your MVP coming out of the event, and we got some great shout outs out there in the community. A lot of people talking about Box racing for Red Bull Racing. You love to see him succeed. He's the kind of person who when he starts winning, it's just so wholesome to watch, and it's cool to see him doing so well. Solar, Hydra, Chemical, amongst many others shouting Box out. In the Pro-Am class. Mitch was a name mentioned by Seven and Venom as well. Hurricane V4 shouting out JSR Type R. I love to see him succeed. Type R is always very popular in the community, takes part in a lot of community events as well. And GTR Luigi, I liked his shout out of Sir Lag a lot, who missed out narrowly on the previous Le Mans Esports event and did himself proud this time around. So a lot of great drives out there, Charlie.
Amazing, but that's not all that's going on in the community at the moment, is it?
Well, so we're brewing up the next event while also looking back at the past one. The next thing sort of coming up is a Tora 10-hour of Road Atlanta race, and that's all for charity as well. A lot of the community starting to practice, get involved, get their kind of tunes built, get their cars built, get ready for qualifying, which isn't too far away. So yeah, people looking forward to that.
Okay, amazing. And now let's strip it back a bit. It's coming up. We know it's going to happen, but what kind of planning goes into competing for an event like that?
It's good you asked, because I got asked just the other day to take part in the race. I'll be racing with the PTG crew. So nice of them to give themselves some dead weight in that way. So cheers, guys. I'll try and do you proud. But it has given me a little bit of a sneaky peek of all the stuff that goes on. I mean, just from a team perspective, yeah, there's getting the car and choosing it and building it and practicing and all that kind of stuff. But there's more like straightforward stuff, like who's going to race in each stint, and when are you going to get online, and how are we going to make sure that everybody's where they need to be when they need to be there. And that's just from like one team's perspective. There's like 50 teams or whatever compete. Loads of teams, I don't know, a big number. And then as well as that, there's the competitors, the competition itself. There's people coming along and sorting out lobbies, and it's all run by volunteers. It's all run by enthusiastic members of the community. And it just reminds you what a special racing community Forza has. So it's just nice to see. And a lovely reminder. After such a big event, we're coming back to a more community-oriented one. And it's fabulous.
You're absolutely loving it so far.
Yeah, no, it's been cool. Yeah, and a little bit frustrating because I thought I'd be faster, like off the cuff. I thought I was looking at some of the times.
Don't we all, Ali? Don't we all?
Yeah, I think it might be human nature. I think it might be a little bit of that. I don't know. I was trying to. Yeah. Anyway, practice continues. It'll be on my streams. You'll be able to see it there.
Sounds good. Having a chat about what we do have coming up next month. There are some very special things. So do you want to walk us through the calendar?
Yeah, it's a cool calendar coming up for next month and lots of interesting stuff to get involved with. Straight off there, you can see the Retro TC Championship. That's from Delta Online Racing. But the second thing on the list, 28th of September, is the kickoff of an Asia Pacific only Porsche event. I'm looking at you, Vision. You were asking for one. Well, here it is. It's Asia Pacific only. If you're out there in that region of the world, you can get involved in Rivals events kicking off from the 28th. I think there's going to be a few different rounds. So do stick around, watch back on the monthly show for more news on that. We'll be able to catch you up next time around. Further along in the month, we're going to see Velocity Endurance Racing continue their IMSA series. I love the Reddit racing, the FM4 Reddit, bringing the Bugatti EB110 for spec racing. It's been going for a little while. I just wanted to shout it out this month. So it's a car that I love. Schumacher used to run one, big hero of mine. And then finally, in the month, we've got Legacy Championship Racing running their IndyCar Championship.
Lovely stuff. Well, thank you so much for running us through the calendar, Ali, and thank you for, winning/not winning the event earlier on in the stream. But I think it's time we have a chat with an actual IndyCar driver themselves. Shall we take a look and see who it is? And I said at the top of the show, but we are back with Josef Newgarden. Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Really, really great. Thanks for having me and good talking to you.
No problem. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Now, I think many of our viewers do know who you are, but for those who don't, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been racing for?
Sure. Well, first off, I'm a huge Forza Motorsport player. I've been playing the game since 2005, since the OG game came out, FM1. I got into it really aggressively, though, on FM2. 2007, I really started picking it up. So I've been a long-time player, and then back in 2012, I was able to go professional in the United States in the IndyCar Series. So I've been driving in that championship for the last 8 years. This is my 9th season currently that's going on right now. And we've been able to win 2 championships. So we're, continuing to try and compete and win races, win championships, and, of course, play some Forza at the same time.
Oh, obviously, you got to fit some of that in. But let's travel back to last year when you did, as you say, you won the IndyCar Championship the second time. Congrats, by the way. Tell us a little bit about the season and how it felt to win a second time versus your first.
Yeah, it was a big deal to win a second championship. For me, when I first entered the series back in 2012, I always dreamed of winning my very first race. And I knew it would be a big deal if you're able to win just one race in a professional level championship. But when you're able to win the second race, it really validates everything that you've done.
That's the one.
It puts a stamp on your your presence in the series. And so that second championship for me was even more emotional than the first, because it just validates everything that you've done up to that point. And I don't think people can say it's a fluke. They can't say it's a one-off victory. So it really makes you feel accomplished within your discipline in the sport. So now it's racers are very greedy. It's all about how many races you can win, how many championships can you get. It's never enough. So after 2 championships, now I'm thinking, okay, how can we get to 7 or 8 championships, which is way up the road.
Oh, I love it. You're going to get there. But for now, we're near the end of this current season. So instead, I want to chat about the beginning, which didn't start, as we normally would expect for them to start. So how did you spend the first half of the year before the season actually started?
It's been a wild, wild season, year for everybody. Like you said, I think I take some comfort in the fact that everyone's kind of going through the same thing together. It's not just me or our championships that's been affected by the global pandemic, but it's, everybody trying to work through it and figure out their new normal, their new schedule. And that's really what happened to us. We showed up on our first race weekend of the year, which was back in March. I think it was March 10th. We're sitting in St. Petersburg, Florida, ready to kick off our first IndyCar race. And literally 2 days before the race is supposed to happen, they say the event's canceled. We all had to go home. Everything was shut down. The whole country shut down. The world shut down. And we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we were going to get back to the track. So it was a kind of a 2-week period there where I was just depressed, didn't know what was going on. But you slowly work out of that. And, then we got into some online racing through the IndyCar Series. We ended up competing that way. I was actually playing a bunch of Forza. I kind of started this Forza night as a weekly thing during that period where we would get on and play with friends or play with some of the other professional Forza players, which are really good, by the way. They're like super good.
Yeah, they're crazy good, huh?
It infuriates me because I drive professionally in real life and I can't get even close to the level that these guys are at in the game.
In the real car, right? They're inside. They've cracked the controller. You're out in the real world. I'd like to see them flip the other way. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. But yeah, it's fun, getting on board with them. So we try to keep busy, just kind of, I guess, keep motivated for getting back to the real thing and staying sharp so that when we were ready to go, we would actually be ready and not, kind of be blindsided by getting back.
So actually, on the decision of going back to real world track racing, what were some of the challenges you did have to face? Sorry.
Well, the funny thing was, we did this virtual racing for 2 months, and I think everyone got, at least the drivers that are used to driving in reality, they got used to the kind of comfort factor of, well, they'll hit a reset button and try and, post the fastest lap possible, or just really take, advantage of the system where you can basically get away with whatever until it comes down to crunch time. When you're in a virtual race, you still have to perform and get it right in the moment, but all the practice is really different. In reality, if you have an hour to practice before your race, you can't just go and wreck the car in the first 5 minutes because they're probably not going to be able to fix it in time. So that was the hardest thing, was going back to reality. It's like, okay, you can't just wreck the car. They're not just going to refresh and give you a brand new vehicle.
No Y button in the real world, baby. Mm-mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've got a few races left and you are currently sitting second in the overall standings. How are you feeling about what lies ahead?
Yeah, pretty good. It's not been a bad season by any means. It's been an odd year. It's been very quick weekends, like most motorsport platforms in reality right now. They've been condensed, so a lot less practice time. You got to kind of show up, be prepared, and then just get the job done. And we've been pretty on it for the most part. We've had some races that haven't gone our way, and unfortunately, the races that have gone poorly for us have gone really well for our main competitor, Scott Dixon. So he's a little bit up the road in the championship, but we've got 3 races to go. If we win all 3 of them and he has a couple of bad events, we can still win the 3rd championship. So I'm pretty hopeful and optimistic.
Yes, I am too. Absolutely. And because you're a long-time Forza fan and it's very near and dear to your heart, even though you have to get back out into the real world and do all of that, I hear you do still have an amazing announcement to make.
I do. I'm so excited that they're letting me tell everybody. But what we've got coming up on Wednesday of this week, so September 23rd, we are going to launch a 4-week challenge with a bounty hunter challenge through Forza Motorsport 7, which I'm super excited about. And all my time being involved with Forza, it's probably the most fun thing that we ever get to do. So, the premise of a bounty hunter challenge is I'm gonna pick a car and a track combo. I'm going to set the best lap possible that I can and try and improve that over a full week's time. And basically, I'm challenging everybody to try and beat my time. And so we're going to do 4 different rounds of that, 4 unique track car combos. And if you do well, there may be some prizes.
Can you tell us about any of the car and track combinations now, perhaps?
Definitely. So I'm not going to give everything away, but I'll give you this week's starting challenge. I had to go with something that I really like. So I'm going to choose my IndyCar in reality, which is what we've traditionally done on bounty hunters that I've done in the game. So it's my number 2 IndyCar that I normally drive in reality. And we're going to be going at Road America, the full circuit. And again, that's going to start on September 23rd. And the cool thing about these challenges, I've worked with Forza to create some super unique liveries. So we've got completely custom car liveries. If you're able to beat my time throughout the challenge, then you're going to get awarded a custom livery that I got to create with Forza. And even if you're not able to beat the time and you still participated, you're going to be able to potentially get, or you absolutely will get, a race suit, which is pretty rare in the game. So each challenge will have a new race suit that's rare to the game that you can just acquire by just even participating.
That's 4 unique liveries are going to come out of this event then.
Yeah, absolutely. And what everyone needs to do is make sure you're following Forza Motorsport. They're going to put out all the details tomorrow, additionally, for the other bounty hunter challenges. But like I said, the very first challenge is coming up this week. So I got to be prepared for Wednesday to set a time and get on it. And then it's not just 1 week and done. I got to be good for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, you're locked in for the next month, my dear. Well,
yeah, they're
thank you
keeping
so
me
much
busy
for
this
joining
time.
me. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds incredible. And it's been such a pleasure to talk to you, Josef. Good luck with the rest of the IndyCar season, and we will absolutely be rooting for you.
Cheers. Take care.
See ya. Bye-bye. Well, it's also easy to forget how big the world is. And while it may be harder to interact directly with members of the Forza family who don't speak the same language, we still want to celebrate the great value they bring in this community spotlight. Joining us from Mexico, we have Mariano, a native Spanish-speaking Forza player, racecaster, and streamer, to tell us about a vibrant Forza community in Latin America. Hello, Mariano.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well, and you?
Absolutely fantastic. It's been a heck of a show so far. Really enjoying it. And now we're here with you, and I want to know how you and Forza started this amazing journey together.
Well, basically, I started with Forza 1 in my brother's Xbox, original Xbox, but I only have a couple of times an opportunity to only play Forza 1. But I officially started playing Forza in Forza 2 when it launched around in 2007, I think. And then my dad bought the Xbox 360 for me, across with the limited edition Forza 2. So I was like, what is this, right? So then I got in love with the game, and then after that, well, I started to play over the time. And then after that, I joined Xbox Live with Forza 3. And with Forza 3, I started all my esports career to try out and compare myself to others to try to see who's the best in the track.
Amazing. So what was it that actually got you noticed and eventually led to you being a race caster for some of the races in Forza RC?
Well, basically here in Mexico, there's a company called Gamelta. This company was sending invitations for a casting for the Forza RC here in Mexico. So, well, basically, I received an email from them because they were inviting some of us that play Forza here in Mexico, and well, they were looking for Spanish-speaking people that can caster the event. So, well, I do my casting test, I pass it, and then,
Nice.
well, basically, I tried for the very first time in my life to public speaking. So it was a very, very huge challenge for me in that time. But
It's exciting though, right?
yeah, it was fantastic. Be alongside with the production team, with all the pro drivers. This thing is really serious. So yeah, it was really fantastic.
Amazing. But things have been, again, I've said it a couple times throughout the show, but a little bit different recently. So what have you been up to in Forza at the moment?
Well, basically, I've been doing recently some design here in Forza because some teams request me some designs in game, also in real life. So basically, I've been doing a little bit of design and also participating whenever I can in championships, national championships here in Mexico. Well, due to school and work, I don't have enough time to participate in all of them, but I plan into the next year to be more participating into them. Of course, I've been doing Soleiman's Esports series at the moment. So basically, the design stuff I did ultimately was for that.
Amazing. And you made 12 liveries for Le Mans, right?
Yeah, exactly. 12 liveries for Le Mans in just 3 days. So it was a really huge challenge for me because, well, I think, okay, I have 3 days or 4 days maximum because it's a pretty short deadline. And then I think, okay, I have to create a team identity and then 12 livery cars across decades. So different cars, different decades, different shape languages, different visual language. So how can I adapt to that car language and shapes, also creating a team identity to them? It was a really serious challenge because creating first logo, and this logo is thought by be adaptable to all these cars. So as a designer, you have to think about, well, I have these cars to deliver to the team, and also this team identity to the organization, Le Mans organization. And well, the challenge here was, how can I adapt this design language across all these cars? And in the less time possible, I think, because, well, it's so difficult to get this done. Basically, this is one of the most serious challenge of liveries I've ever done here in Forza.
Amazing. And let's not underplay this in the slightest. You were not only painting, but you also drove in the Le Mans esports competition as well, didn't you?
Exactly. So here's a double challenge here at Le Mans Esports, because there's not only painting, I also had to practice. Yeah. So there is double challenge here of time management. So when can I practice a little bit and then painting without sacrificing one of the segments? So it's like, oh my God. Well, basically here at Le Mans Esports, I want to say that is so difficult right now. The level of competition right now is so high that I have to say that the pro gamers with the wheel, I remember that in the last season Super Finals, the gap between Pat and Will was about 1 second, 1.5 seconds. And right now, the pro players has reduced that gap almost the same. So basically, they are the same as fast as with Pat as with Will. So it's really interesting to see how the pro players have evolved over time, especially Red Bull, Lazarus, Williams Esports, any pro teams. So this is really interesting to see about. So yeah, basically, well, unfortunately, my team got eliminated in the first day because of that, because the practice makes the master. So I didn't have enough time to practice enough, because also some school, some work, and then some design here in the Forza. It's a mess. So it's really difficult here.
Amazing. Well, on a different topic, I want to congratulate you because you are clearly a dual language speaker, and you have a really unique position to give us a window into Spanish language racing culture. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. Well, basically, here in Mexico, there are many many communities and teams here. So we have a whole bunch of teams that are rising from above. So basically, we have many championships right now. Basically, SMX, or better called Scuderia Mexicana, is about to start today a championship with a bull car. So they are basically starting a short championship of 4 races, I remember. Also, FLA, or better called Forza Latin America, is concluding a championship right now with a BRC car. Also, Forza Mexico is doing a championship. They're playing a series championship with cash prize. So this means that, we can see interesting things in them. So basically, we are doing plenty enough stuff right now in Forza. And these communities, they are not also focusing on Forza. They are also trying to expand their horizon to other games, to other racing games, to engage with new people out there.
Amazing. And is there anything you hope to see for your Forza community in the future?
Yeah, of course. Well, I would like to see bigger championships, more serious championships, because we only do championships just for fun, because the economic stuff here in Mexico or Latin America is quite difficult. So we only do championships just for fun, but I would like to see championships with prizes. I don't know, maybe cash prizes, maybe some Xbox Live Gold codes, game codes, Game Pass. I don't know, some prize that can motivate people to race with us. So this can be interesting, but we have to see, and we do the best to generate these competitions against us. Well, basically, we are trying to make some competitions against teams. So we are doing like friend battles, in quotes.
Friend battles.
Friendly. Because of course we have sometimes some troubles within teams. But this is basically competition. This is sim racing, and this world is about who is the best. So basically, I want to be more involved with them in the near future. I think that the next year, because right now I'm finishing school, so I would like to see more people get involved in these championships.
What a perfect platform, because if there are any other Spanish speakers watching today, how would you encourage them to join in with you?
Well, basically, these people doesn't know that these communities exist. So, basically, to be specific, I would recommend searching in Facebook for these communities. So, for example, there are teams like SMX, Scuderia Mexicana, that I just said before, Forza Motorsport Mexico, Mex Motorsport, Forza Latin America, EDR, FRF, LMX. There are many teams out there that people can search out there and find these communities. They have also the pages and the groups. So they are constantly doing championships, and people can decide in a whole bunch of variety of championships within Forza Motorsport. They are doing plenty enough championships like prototypes, GT cars, old cars. They are constantly running championships when they can get involved too. And they can also evolve as a driver, because that's the more important thing, because we are very kindly with these new drivers, with these new players inside of Forza. So we are trying to get them in love with the game and the communities. So mainly we do this for fun.
Amazing. Well, Mariano, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and good luck with the Latin America community in the future when it comes to Forza.
Thanks to you.
No worries. Thank you. Well, that pretty much wraps up this episode of Forza Monthly, but you can watch all the great live streams almost every day on the Forza Twitch channel. Let's have a look and see what we've got coming up, shall we? So Ali Tak will be at it again this Thursday on Yachts All Stars, and you can watch Johnny Wanna on Daily Driver every day this week, every weekday even, that's a better way of saying it, with today's show coming right up after this. But before we sign off, one final reminder that Forza Horizon 3 will reach its end-of-life status on September 27th, meaning that you will be able to continue playing the game, but you will no longer be able to purchase the game or any associated DLC content after that date. If you don't have it yet, all editions of Forza Horizon 3 and the expansion pass are heavily discounted right now. And thanks to the work of the Xbox back compatibility team, Forza Horizon 3 will work on both Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X on launch day. Thanks to the amazing jokes. I really call them jokes. Thanks to the amazing gents at Playground for joining us today, to the amazing Forza community for making this second anniversary of Forza Horizon 4 so worth celebrating, our many, many guests, and everything they brought to you, the viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in for all things Forza. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.